Then today I will talk about the case study of Estonia, how we are like pushing the students and also like the researchers that they should be like more entrepreneur mindset. Briefly, my background. I've been working in the university more than 18 years. And I started to work in the university when I did my bachelor degree. 11 years ago, I defended my PhD about like how to use the undermined areas in northeast Estonia, where we have like this kind of like oil shale basin, old oil shale mines and new oil shale mines. So it's really active area for mining. And then when this EIT as an innovation and technology institute based in Budapest created the EIT raw materials, then I came like the main contact of the university for that network. And since beginning, we have done more than 40 projects in the EIT raw materials. And I'm also with my students. I've been practicing the entrepreneurship with the different ways of what is like the EIT like provides. For example, EIT Jumpstarter. Actually, like last Sunday was like the closing date for this year's batch. But let's go to that topic. So these are the main topics that I will cover with my lecture today. I will talk about how we see the Estonian startup ecosystem here, how the Tallinn University of Technology supports that as a like environment to grow those startups or even spin-offs. Then we will look how the circular economy can be as business opportunity for the university researchers and also for the students. And because I'm from the raw material sector, then I will also offering some challenges, what can be turned as a business opportunity, especially for you who are part of this lecture today. And then I will give the overview how to start a startup in the university. So it's based on the real case, but I together with my PhD student and professor did some years ago, and I will also reflect the learnings from that process. So let's start. Estonian startup ecosystem. It's all about building the innovation culture. That means that every project, every step, every task, every assignment in the university, during the courses, or in the startup or spin-off or in the research, has to be meaningful and give the impact. This table explains how we see our startup ecosystem here in Estonia. And all this information is also under the website of startupestonia.ee. So you can read more, research more from that website. But in the ecosystem, I would say it's like the 4 main phases. Making the startup mindset. Then it's this kind of pre-startup when you search, is this product or service fitting to the market? And if you get the like confidence that this can be the next big thing, then you start a startup. And if the startup is starting, then of course you have to scale up with your product or service. And to building the startup mindset, in Estonia we have different organizations, or even I can say like the competitions, or this kind of like community builders, who is like continuously checking and validating the ideas. And these are just some examples like the brain hunt or gravity hack. So it's basically any this kind of like hackathon where you just like brainstorming your ideas and try to find if this can be the next big thing. So to get like this kind of startup mindset, you have to be active. You have to take part of different hackathons and etc. Then when you start building your startup, then there's also like this kind of like pre-incubation offering in Estonia. I will show some cases later, like Startup Wise Guys, Science Park Technopole, or Science Park Tartu in the South Estonia. But we have also like the European Space Agency incubation center here in Estonia. So we can really go really high tech things also, or deep tech nowadays. So before you're building your startup, then yeah, you have to find like this like the market fit for you. And then if you are already starting a startup, then you have already like registered your company in Estonia. And actually, I'm also suggesting that you should look about information about the e-residency in Estonia, because you can be the e-resident of Estonia. That means that if you are the e-resident of Estonia, then you can open the startup less than 15 minutes. And of course, we are supporting the digital signature. So all the paperwork for the company is actually digitalized. And this is really like helping for this when you're building the startup. But when you're building the startup, then you also need the other players, other colleagues from other startups. So then you should like look where are the co-working communities where you can change the ideas, experiences, and even you can find your staff members, because it's really easy in Estonia to change the company. And here is in this slide is like some of those co-working spaces what we have here in Tallinn, especially. And then, if you already have validate your business idea and you have found your first customers, then it's time to scale up. And to scale up the business, you need investors. And we have a lot of different opportunities. We can use the EIT network. For example, in this slide, it's like the InnoEnergy giving the funds to build the company in the InnoEnergy field. A similar thing is also in other EIT networks. But mostly you need the venture capital or private capital that you will get, for example, 2 million euros. And from that, you can invest that money to scale up your business. And then this slide shows the Estonian unicorns, like Wise, Bolt, Pipedrive, Lia, Monese, etc. And probably you have been using the service what those unicorns offering. For example, to send euros to America with dollars, then you're probably using the Wise. Then when you're like traveling in Europe and in the cities, you want to use the e-scooter, then you can use the Bolt scooters. And when you are working the company as a salesperson, then probably you are using the Pipedrive software to push the sales up, because those services is helping also your own businesses. And if you have any questions, then yeah, now it's time to ask questions about the ecosystem in Estonia. If no questions, then I will continue. So this is the Tallinn University of Technology, the main campus, because we have also like the marine school with us, and this school is in the sea area. And we are sharing the same campus with the Science Park Ternopil. So this is the place where those startups growing, getting the experience via incubation programs. And also we have really good collaboration with more than 100 companies who is like located in the Science Park Ternopil, because we are the founders of the Science Park also. And because my background is raw materials, then we have really nice campus outside of Tallinn. We are calling like this like Earth Science Center, and it's only 1 hour and 30 minutes outside of Tallinn, in the middle of nature in Estonia. And in that area, we can also organize different seminars, workshops, laboratory work, and then showing also that how we using the raw materials in our everyday life. But in the Tallinn campus, we have also the Entrepreneurship and Business Center. And we are calling that Mectory building. In that building, we are running the innovation hub, where the students and their startups can meet, organize events. It's open for students 24/7. So it's if you're having like a good idea and you need to code something, then you can use the Mectory building. And also like other organizations and companies actually can like rent those rooms as well. But we are also like running our pre-incubation program, what we call Startup Tallinn. Here are some facts about the building. So we have more than 50,000 visitors not only Estonian visitors, but also like foreign visitors. Because when the other university delegations comes to TalTech, then usually they are going also to the Mectory building. And in the student co-working space, they are also contributing to the student project, what is called like Ise-auto or self-driving car project. And this is just one example, because we have also like our own satellite program. We have program for bio-based robotics and etc. So we have a lot of different like research groups, which is developing research and technology. Then Tallinn University of Technology is also part of 2 EIT networks. These are the EIT raw materials and EIT digital. So we can also like get the benefit from those networks. And we have also covered all other EIT networks also in Estonia. But I will go more deeply with the EIT raw materials. So these are the 6 main themes of the EIT raw materials, starting from mineral exploration and then going up with the value chain, like mining, processing. Then very important is the substitution, because if we can substitute the critical materials with non-critical materials, then it's the winning solution. Then, of course, important is the recycling. After end of life of the product, how we can reuse those materials that we have in that product. And that brings to the circular economy models. Circular economy business models and also circular economy material models, how the materials are circulating in the value chain. Here you can see that in the EIT raw materials there are like 3 main pillars. First pillar is the matchmaking and networking. Second pillar is acceleration, to accelerate the ideas. And the third pillar is the academic pillar, to give the opportunity to grow in the industry also. And then there's the horizontal activities like lighthouse program, cross-kick activities like EIT Jumpstarter, and then regional innovation scheme, which is especially meant for the Eastern Europe and Southeastern Europe. And then this is like the summary of our activities in the EIT raw materials. Because we have been partnering in the EIT raw materials since beginning, and we have done 44 projects with more than 3.5 million euros, only for like TalTech project. If you will count all those other budgets as well, then it's more than 200 million. So these are the hubs for the network. And together with our neighboring country, Latvia and Lithuania, we are also running the RIS hub, Regional Innovation Scheme hub, for the Baltic countries. And inside the TalTech, we have also established a cooperation platform circular economy core lab. That means that we are building interdisciplinary teams with different research groups. The total number of the research groups what we have in Taltech is more than 150. And that means that we have the staff members are like 2,000. 1,000 are like in the academical path, and then second 1,000 is like supporting staff members, like project leads, project management, laboratory workers, etc. And this circular economy core lab is coordinating the activities which is related with the HEI raw materials. Because we are like using the raw materials in our everyday life, then we have also created this kind of showroom in the Mektori building. And we have called it that Green Rock Lab, where we are showing the minerals, what we are using in our everyday life. And those minerals is also crucial for developing the technology. Without those minerals and technology, we are not connecting via Teams, for example. And in Taltech, we see that the circular economy is the opportunity for the zebracorns. You probably have heard what is the unicorns. Unicorn is the company which has the value at least 1 billion euros or dollars. But the zebracorns are actually more meaningful because zebracorns making the highest impact for better future. And those companies are also profitable in that sense. They are like the unicorns, but in the same time also give the impact for the better future. And for the better future, we have those United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And that means that every project, research project, student project, or startup project what we are doing has to give the impact. And then each consortium or the team can choose the impact from the Sustainable Development Goals to having the better future for us. And then if you are like looking those HEI raw materials teams, then these are really making the circular economy approach. This is just to like remind you that the raw materials is everywhere. It's part of our modern society. And this is just one example here. Because everyone have nowadays the smartphone in our pocket. And in one smartphone, there is 76 different minerals. And those minerals are coming around the world. Not only from the Europe, but from Asia, from Africa, from Latin America, everywhere. And second example, we are living in the houses. The houses are built with also with construction materials, which is also raw materials. And if we are looking back, how this the linear business model is looking like, that first we have to extract the minerals, then we are manufacturing the product, then we distributing that product, finding the user, and then if this user is not using the product anymore, then we just dispose that to the landfill. And then the crucial question is that why we are sending important and critical materials to the landfill. We should repair, reuse, and then remanufacturing those products. And this brings the topic on the table that we should like turn the linear model to the circular model. And because population is high in the world, then we still need like the primary sources as well. But we are remanufacturing, reusing, repairing, collection, recycling. We can use also like the secondary raw material. And I give you 4 examples how we can turn the linear model into the circular model. First example, the waste rock from the mining operations, and using the Estonian oil shale example here. So this oil shale waste rock consists oil shale and limestone, but we can separate the oil shale and limestone. And if we are separating, then we can use the limestone as an aggregate for road construction or backfill material for the underground mines. And from the oil shale, we can produce the oil or kerogen, which is important mineral in chemistry. Second example. We can turn the building material also in the circular, because nowadays mainly, if you like, construction waste material or demolition waste material going back to the quarry or landfill. But we can produce valuable materials from the demolition waste and the construction material waste. What we can use, for example, as a filler material for purification, when we are like cleaning the stormwater, because we need to clean the stormwater because we want to that our water bodies are clean. And in Estonia context means that the Baltic Sea has to be clean. Then the third example. This ash is after that when the oil shale has been burned to electricity. And the Swedish company Ragn-Sells have found the solution how to use the ash to turn it to the calcium carbonate. And this calcium carbonate is actually negative because there's no additional CO2 production. And then the fourth example, we all using the computers nowadays and or electronical equipment. And for those computers and electronic equipment, we have those printed circuit boards. And those boards are made from plastic and from metal. And usually the electronic waste will be crushed and added to the smelting process. And then if you're like putting the metallic part and plastic part into the smelting process, then the plastic part will burn and automatically CO2 is generated. But this startup Impact VCB have found a solution that we should separate the plastic part and the metallic part. And then those plastic part doesn't go to the smelting process. And then you don't create the additional CO2 because we can mix that plastic particles with other raw materials and do other materials. Like this company, which is using the plastic and mineral components and turning tech to new plastic and new material. Is there any questions about the circular economy and the opportunities? If not, then I will continue with the funnel. How we can go from the idea to prototype and the product. I hope that you have been seeing this kind of funnel. And in this entrepreneurship funnel, it comes also the technology readiness levels. Those TRL, technology readiness level. The scale is from 1 to 9, and 9 is meaning that the product is ready, and you can buy that product or service next day on the marketplace, for example. And TRL1 means that I have an idea that this piece that I'm just holding here is doing optimal things, and this is beneficial for some company, other company. Just an idea description is the TRL1. And usually in the universities, we can go from TRL1 level to at least TRL4, because the TRL5 and higher is already that this solution has been tested in the relevant environment, in the business environment, or in the factory. And here you can also see that usually the idea holders having the idea in the TRL 1 to 3, and then they are participating in different competitions to validate the idea. Then the TRL level is rising. Then it's just other those accelerator programs or booster funding, or the corporates are giving funds to develop the minimum viable product. And then if the TRL level is higher than 5, like 6, 7, then you go with this TRL level to investors, and then the investor gives the additional funding to really build up the solution.
Sorry, Professor Baker, we have one question here. Fernando Segarra is asking on the chat, would you like to read, or Fernando, would you like to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not a problem. Whichever is okay for me. Yeah. Yeah. Professor, I have one question. Your teachings are really fantastic indeed, very interesting, and it educates us very much. My question is, if you scale up all the circular concepts to reach the industry, so it means you start with a prototype at first in the university, or you go directly with all your concepts out to the main industry? That's my question.
I would say that the easiest way is that you can start with the prototype in the university. Then with this prototype, you can go to the science park, which is like providing the incubation program, and give the business consultations. And then after that process, then you have like the minimal viable product ready. And with this product, you can go to the industry. Because you have to create first the minimal viable product. That means that they already have the customers who want to buy the product or that service that you are like offering. And then the other things just scaling up the product, making the second prototype, third prototype, and etc.
Okay, so I understand it. So you manage this study, even if it were a project in which all the students are participating. Is that correct?
Yeah, it can be student project, but it can be also spin-off, which is growing in the university. It can be different way.
Okay, thank you.
So
Okay.
let's continue with
Thank
this. And also others, if you have the questions, then yeah, please ask. Then this like the TRL 3.4 is the level of the EIT jump starter. And if you're winning the EIT jump starter or are in the top 5, then you can also apply the accelerator program. And this is just the example from the raw materials, from the EIT raw materials, that they have 3 level or 3 phase of the accelerator program. And they call invent, build, and grow. And then they give the connections with the industry members, connections with the investors, so that the team will get the network and can grow. Then if they are already, or you have already the startup, and you just have an idea for new product, and then you can also just ask the booster funding for your startup or SME. And there will be 3 rounds in the year. Actually, 1 round from this year is already ended. And you can get maximum 60,000 euros to develop the product. But getting the visibility and connections, I'm suggesting to be part of the Jumpstarter or any other startup competition that we can find in Europe. Because if you're getting prizes, which will be mostly equity-free prizes from those startup competitions, then from that you are building your resume, that you are showing that we were successful in this competition, we were successful in that competition. This competition gives us these kind of people to network. From that competition, we found our first customers. From that competition, we found our first investor, and etc. So you are building your story when you are competing with different startup competitions. And this is one of the story what I will explain later on. So this is the startup called Mining Sandbox AR, and AR means the augmented reality. And me and one of our research group, PhD candidate, we were thinking how this kind of augmented reality sandbox can be beneficial for the exploration and mining companies. But I will coming back later stage for that. And from the these are the other success stories or the startups who have been growing in the EIT raw materials network. So summarizing the entrepreneurship funnel, that you need to grow your idea, and that you can do through different competitions. If you are successful in the competitions, then you can apply the position in the accelerator programs or incubation program, asking the booster funding to build the first prototype, and then scaling and scaling. Challenges. Actually, they are part of innovation creation, because if you wanna build a solution, you need to have also the challenge for that. And now I will just describing some of the challenges, or actually we can call also that these are the business opportunities in the raw material sector. So challenge number 1, remote sensing data. We all know that we need critical raw materials, and we have to start exploration and mining activities in Europe. But where we can find those deposits? And the satellite information gives the answers, because we need to plan the land use planning, because the companies want to have the social license to operate. Because like if the local community doesn't give the license to operate in the community, then we cannot explore or even mine in that region. So the challenge is how to use the remote sensing technologies or techniques for the spatial planning, that we can take into account all the satellite information what we have from the Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2 satellite, and turning that satellite information as a database where we can build the augmented reality outputs for mineral exploration and finding the new deposits in Europe or in other continents. Challenge number 2. We are using the products every day. We are using the smartphone, we are using the laptop or tablet. We are using the public transport. We are using the e-scooters. We want to use the electrical cars, but we don't have any clue where those materials are coming. And this is just one example. This is the Apple phone, or iPhone, I think it was like 11. And in the world map, there are like those dots showing where those components are coming or materials coming. So this kind of information should be also for any other product that we are using, because we want that those materials are sourced with responsible sourcing. And the workers who has like separating or mining those minerals should have the equal payment as a salary, for example. And then just to reach out for you also that there's a Horizon 2020 project, which is resourcing, meaning responsive sourcing, and it's showing the opportunities for the sectors, for the renewable energy sector, mobility, and electronical sector. So that we can build the data or maps for any product we are using in our everyday life, that we know where those materials coming or where those materials has been recycled. Then third challenge. It's also mining industry related, but it fits actually to also the other fields, because there are always like those waste streams from the production. And the key question is how I can use this waste material as a product or byproduct. So this Finnish company Tabojärvi, running currently the Open Innovation Challenge and targeting 3 main areas, like how to utilize the mining waste, how to utilize stainless steel slags, and how to utilize the pulp and paper side streams. And actually, Tabojärvi, it's not the only company in the world who's having similar challenges. You can find those companies around Europe, around the world, who are like mining the minerals or producing the steel and working in the pulp and paper industry. They have the same or similar challenges with their waste streams. So your solution can be benefit here. And then not going to deeply in for these challenges, but yes, how to use the artificial intelligence and machine learning in any sector, not only in the raw material sector, but also in the food sector, health sector. How to use like the remote driving and operations in the challenging environments. How to recycle the products, how to reuse the products, and etc., etc. And these all are related also with the circular economy approaches. Then from the university side, we are supporting researchers, students in bachelor level, master level, and PhD candidate level, that they can test their interest in the business side. And for that, in the raw material sector, we have built the full online course. And even this is suitable for the master students. We are open to host also bachelor students and PhD candidates. And the course gives 6 credit points. And it's running in each semester. But you can already send the email to Karin Robam that you want to be part of the CIRCPRO course in the fall semester this year. And then she can like re-sign up you. And then when the fall semester starts, then she can send the instruction how to get the access to this full online course. But of course, you can check that course also from the website already. So in that course, you're like giving the overview about the exploration, mining, and processing.
Professor Bacon, sorry, we have another question. Fernando, would you like to turn the mic on, please?
Oh, yes, I'm here. Oh, thank you so much. I have one question. I was watching your interesting speech, and it is that for the circular economy, to control the environmental impact is the main issue to control in detail. Every time you go up step by step into the circular economy, you are going to have more exposition to the environmental impact.
Yes.
Is correct?
Yes. Because with the circular economy, also like the ESG is like hot topic currently, and ESG means that environment, social, and governance. So that means you have to care about the environment and also like the people or social things, and also like the top management of the company has to follow those rules. Then it's really impactful. Did I answer to the question?
Yes, it is. So you need a special fund, okay, to control the environmental impact. Okay,
Yes.
in this process. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because
right.
because you of the satellite, you can continuously get like the new information, and computer simulations you can like predict the future, and then you can see there is what kind of steps you as a company owner or the managing partner in that company, what kind of actions you have to make to minimize the environmental impact.
Okay, thank you.
So jumping back to this CIRCPRO course. So in that course we have six teams. And then it turns like a circular model, that how we can build a circular business in the raw material sector. This is just a like small example what kind of materials we have in that course. So it's like different types of reports, articles, webinars, podcasts, and of course glossary to find the correct term. And to get those 6 credit points, the student has to make 6 tests, submit the project report, which means that it's like the small business plan. And the third thing is pitch deck, or pitching the solution. And then with this pitch deck and the business model, the student can go to any other startup competition. Together with my good colleagues, like Professor Michael Hitch and Dr. George Barakos, because we three are the also members in the Society of Mining Professors, and we want to also educate the PhD candidate. So therefore, we organized the PhD candidate research day to just like recognize the excellence in research in the various mining related fields, because it's not only like the mining technology and the extraction of the minerals, it's more in the mining research. And also we wanted that the PhD candidates from different mining related universities can network and find good contacts for the future. And for us as a professors, gives also like the opportunity to see who can be our postdoc in the future. And from the PhD candidate side, gives the value that they can network with the similar field PhD candidate. They can change their experience. They can learn from others. They can do the group work during the research day. They are getting new ideas. They're developing their own soft skills, presenting their work, getting the feedback. And this is just like personal growth in that process. So the first PhD candidate research day we held in 2019. It was just before the COVID pandemic. And it was, actually, yeah, 1 year before the COVID pandemic. And we used our facilities, what we have here in Taltech. So this is a Mectory building and our field base or science center. And now you can also like see the photos which is taken inside the Mectory building. And from in the field base, we have like the research collections, labs for research, field core database, study programs for the children, etc., etc. And these are the participants, first participants from the SOMP PhD candidate research day. And some of those participants have already graduated or defend their PhD degree. During the research day, we also like organized test lectures with the PhD candidates about the virtual reality and augmented reality. There was also this kind of like fun part for the PhD candidate when they made their own rock. But actually choose the rock and then make the keychain. And of course, there was a lot of networking opportunities, exchange the ideas, exchange the experience, and of course, like sauna party and etc. And we also selected like the best research talk. And the winner also got 1,000 euro. So here, these are the 3 best from that year. And actually now the Bruno Graffe, who like get the first prize, actually he defend his PhD degree last December. So this is part of that we are educating from the university side the PhD candidates, but we are also like involving also the industry because we want to build the future. And then to have this kind of like support, then we have had different EIT raw materials projects, which is supporting those activities, where we can like host the PhD candidates from another university. They can run here the short courses, and the Erasmus Plus funding can support the travel and others. Exchanging the ideas with the startups, with visiting different laboratories, visiting the companies. And currently we are building the next phase of the for the PhD candidates. And we are aiming to build 1-year program for the PhD candidates that with 1 year they can build the startup, or if they are like related with the university research, then it's the spin-off. And this program for PhD candidates is also ready in the autumn semester, where we're starting like recruiting of the PhD candidates. Now the last quarter of my presentation, how to start a startup. And I will show the TalkTech vision, and then also like showing my personal experience. So to start a startup, you have to get the information to build the company. And for that, we have the Starter Tallinn program. And these are the main parts of that program. So we have the curriculum. We have our Mektori entrepreneurial ecosystem. We have the Starter Tallinn. We have our own startup competition, and also support services from the Prototon and Science Park Technopole. And of course, we have the building where we have the laboratories, meeting rooms, conference rooms, startup offices. So it's really like ecosystem here. And we are partnering with EIT Raw Materials and EIT Digital. So the Start Tallinn is a 3-month-long startup development program, and we are running that in each semester. It's free to all students, including the Erasmus exchange students who have come to just for the semester in Taltech or in full academic year in Taltech. There are like weekly practical lectures and guidance, and then the startup teams have to follow them. We have involved the entrepreneurial and scientific mentors. And after that program, the team is ready to apply also the prototyping fund. And then the team is also ready to be part of the Startup Wise Guys program or accelerator program. And then, of course, they can stay in Taltech system and grow in the Mectory or in the Science Park Technopole. And then this startup is also part of the Estonian startup ecosystem. Because from that web page, like the startupestonia.ee, you can find different support documents, what you have to consider when you building the company. Because you have to make the decision how you divide your company. Who will be the founder, who is the co-founder, and what are the proportion of belonging to the founder and co-founder. And there's a lot of other support documents and also explanations what you have to know beforehand when you're signing the investment contract. So how to start? Join the hackathons or any other startup events, because also the EIT educational programs gives the opportunities like this, like what we have what we had yesterday, what we have today, and what we have tomorrow. You have to invest your own time and resources to develop your idea, because no one not giving the just, oh, here is 20,000, do something. No. It's not working that way. You have to prove that you have the entrepreneur mindset and you want to make the change. And then if you have it, then you can also participate in the incubation programs and accelerator programs. And you have to know that when you are building or creating your startup, it's actually building the team around you. Because this is the list of the evaluation criteria for early stage ventures. So these are the main four main things what the venture capitalist will look. The VC fund looks, is this team is having the best skills to execute the idea, because they are investing in people. Then the second thing is just like the market opportunity. Is this market opportunity big enough? Then they are looking the business model, how your business model creates value. And then the last one is the product, and this product can be physical product or service what you are providing. But the first thing what the venture capital is looking in early stage companies is the team. Who is the founder? Who is the co-founder? And do they have the passion to do the work? What is needed to do when you're building the company? So now the true story, the case study, the mining sandbox AR study. Already like 5 years ago, I was involved in one of the HEI raw materials projects. Then we had the possibility to visit the Aachen University in Germany, and then they had there the sandbox. And I was thinking, this sandbox can be tool for the mining companies who is searching the social license to operate. So I recruited my PhD candidate. We were selected as a participating team in the HEI Jumpstarter 2019. In the same year, we also participated in the Climate Kick, the climate launchpad competition, and also in the Prototon Fund. So there was like 3 competitions running in the same time. Then we had some pause, and then in 2021 we had some new activities. So this was the first team of the mining sandbox AR. Me as a team leader, Michael Hitch as a visionary, as a professor, and then PhD candidate Latin Monet. And then we had very good contacts with the Aachen University, who actually was like developing the open software for the sandboxes. So, because the technology was out there, we needed to build the prototype. So I was investing some thousand, maybe it was 2,000 euros to build like the sandbox. Then we were also like showing the outcome in the conferences where we were. Then we got the climate launchpad Estonian final, and from that final we got the invitation to Prototon top 40 shortlist, and where we get also additional trainings, and then we ended in the top 20 in 2019. Then we also got different types of educations, boot camps, workshops, developing the business model for the sandbox. And then you already saw the photo that in the EIT Jumpstarter we got the third prize in the raw materials sector. And now I'm just reflecting some lessons what can be also useful for you when you're having your own startup idea. First, any idea development takes time. So you have to be passionate. You have to learn all the time. Then second thing, you have to get a really good understanding about the technology, because the technology is developing very, very fast. For example, in our case, the 360 cameras are out on the market. There are a lot of different streaming possibilities. Actually, I'm also currently streaming this lecture also in the Twitch portal, where you can see the streaming with your virtual reality goggles. And then the third part is the team members. You have to have the team members who can help you, and then they can see also their own personal growth in the process. And going back to those workshops, what we had, and from that I can really reflect that the business model canvas is important, because from that canvas you can physically see, and the canvas gives the answer to the main question: how your business idea creates value. So this is the typical business model canvas. And then you have to see really that what is your solution? What is your value proposition? Who are your customer segments? What kind of channels you use with your customers? What kind of key resources you need to build up your product or service? What are the key activities? Do you need professional sales guy? And who are the partners who can help you? And then, of course, what are the costs you have to make for the product or service? And then understanding how you get your revenue. What will be the price, or what kind of different revenue streams you can use actually. And then learnings from that is the stage part, and also the backstage part. So how everybody seeing how you are doing the business, what kind of social media channels you are using, who is commenting in that channels, and what is the price. Everybody can see that, but they are not seeing how your team is working. What are the key activities? What are the key resources what are the key partners you are using? And then what are the costs that you have to make? But in the same time, it's also reflecting the business model canvas, reflecting the income part and also the expenses. And if you're creating the business model canvas, for your product or for your service, then try to also talk about your business model. And this is just one example that you should start what kind of value your product is giving, who is using the product, what kind of channels you are using, what kind of customer relationship you are building, then how much revenue you are creating, what are the key resources for that, what are the key activities, what you have to do, what is the cost structure for that activities, and who are the partner organizations who can help you. And of course, we all know the SWOT analysis. The strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Because these are also reflecting your business model. In the business model side, you can see what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what you have to minimize. And then from the business environment side, because there is a competition, the company is competing everywhere. So you have to see the opportunities in the business environment. And you have to also see the threats of the business environment. So to summarize my talk today, or this lecture today, to building the startup, you have to build the team around you. To get the understanding, is this idea unicorn or sebacorn, then you have to be taking part in different competitions, validate your idea in every step. Of course, you have to talk with your potential customers because they are giving the feedback and you can learn from that feedback and build your minimal viable product. And the hardest part is also find the solution for real problem, which is really, really hard to find. Because some solutions can be also in that sense that nice to have solutions, but you have to find which is the real pain or real case where you can really make the impact. And then, of course, to get the understanding how the business works, you have to write your own business plan, test it, rewriting, and test it again. If you are lucky, then you will be part of some accelerator program where you get useful contacts or information. And then it's a lot of support opportunities in the university, in the science park, networking with other entrepreneurs, networking with the potential investors, networking with the researchers in your field, getting the understanding which is how the business environment working for you, and inside cooperation in the university. And this is it from my side. You can write me via this email, veiko.karu@taltech.ee, or you can find me on LinkedIn. If you have any future questions or you want to just validate your business idea, I'm open to validate your business idea, because I'm also acting as a mentor for Science Park in Tallinn and also Science Park in Tartu in Estonia. And yeah, I have quite wide network in the raw material sector, so maybe I can also suggest some contact persons for you.
So thank you